Most cat owners spend a lot of time wondering if their cat actually likes them. And honestly, that's a fair thing to wonder. Cats don't wag their tails. They don't sprint to the door when you come home. They don't beg for your attention the way a dog might. So it's easy to assume they're indifferent, that they tolerate you the way they tolerate the furniture. But that's not what's happening at all. Cats are deeply bonded animals. They just express that bond quietly, on their own terms, in ways that are easy to miss if you don't know what you're looking for. And here's the part most people don't realize. A lot of what you're already doing every day is speaking directly to your cat's emotional needs. You're already doing things that make your cat feel safe, loved, and connected to you. You just don't know it yet. What follows are 8 of those things. And by the end of this, you'll understand your cat in a way that most owners never do. 1. Talking to them, you probably talk to your cat. Maybe you narrate your morning routine, tell them about your day, or just say their name softly when you walk past them. You might even feel a little silly about it. Don't. Research from animal behaviorists has shown that cats are highly attuned to human voices, particularly the voice of their owner. Your cat has spent months, possibly years, learning the specific rhythm, tone, and pitch of the way you speak. They know when you're calm. They know when something's off. And when you speak to them softly and directly, it signals something very important, that you see them, that you're present, and that you're not a threat. Cats in the wild are largely silent with each other as adults. Adult cats almost never meow at other cats. That behavior is something they developed specifically to communicate with humans. When your cat meows back at you during a conversation, they're not just making noise, they're matching your energy. They're engaging. They're responding to you the same way you're responding to them. The practical takeaway here is simple: keep talking to your cat. Use a soft, slightly higher pitched tone, what researchers sometimes call cat-directed speech. Studies have found that cats respond more attentively to this kind of voice than to the flat, neutral tone we use with other adults. Your cat doesn't understand every word, but they understand that you're speaking to them, and that matters more than you think. 2. Slow blinking at them. If you've ever made eye contact with your cat and slowly closed and opened your eyes, you may have noticed your cat do the same thing back. It feels like a small, quiet moment. It is, and it's also one of the most meaningful things you can share with your cat. In feline body language, prolonged direct eye contact is a sign of dominance or threat. Cats hold eye contact with animals they feel challenged by. So when your cat is relaxed around you, and you make eye contact, they're already doing something vulnerable. They're choosing not to look away. When you add a slow blink into that moment, you're essentially telling them, I'm not a threat, I'm calm, I trust you. A study published in the journal Scientific Reports found that cats were significantly more likely to slow blink back at humans who initiated the gesture. And they were also more likely to approach those humans afterward. The slow blink, in other words, is a form of emotional connection. It's the cat equivalent of a warm smile. Start doing this intentionally. The next time you're across the room from your cat and they're looking at you, hold their gaze gently, and then slowly close your eyes and open them again. Give them time to respond. You'll be surprised how often they mirror it back, and what it does for the quiet trust between you. 3. Respecting their space. Here's what most owners miss. One of the most loving things you can do for your cat is not to push for affection when they're not asking for it. Cats are not small dogs. They don't crave constant physical reassurance. What they crave is safety, and safety, for a cat, means being able to choose when and how they interact. When you reach for a cat that's walked away, or pick up a cat that's clearly trying to settle somewhere on their own, you're removing their sense of control. And for an animal that's wired to be alert to threats, that loss of control creates low-level stress, even if they don't visibly react to it. On the other hand, when you consistently allow your cat to approach on their own terms, when you sit quietly and let them come to you, when you offer a hand to sniff without grabbing, when you acknowledge them without demanding anything back, you're building something. You're building a record of safety. Your cat is learning, over and over again, that being near you has no cost, that nothing bad happens, that you can be trusted. This is actually how deep cat attachment forms. It's not built through constant handling, it's built through consistent respect. The cats who are most affectionate with their owners are almost always the ones whose owners learned early on to let the cat lead. 4. Maintaining a routine. Your cat knows what time you wake up. They know when you usually eat. They know roughly when you come home, and they know what sounds mean you're about to feed them. This isn't coincidence. Cats are creatures of pattern, and your daily routine has become part of their internal framework for understanding the world. When your routine is consistent, your cat feels stable. They know what's coming. They can predict their environment, which means they don't have to stay on alert. That predictability is genuinely calming for them at a neurological level. What you might not realize is that small acts of routine are being read by your cat as intentional signals of care. The fact that you feed them at the same time every morning, the fact that you always say something to them when you walk through the door, the fact that you sit in the same spot every evening. These patterns tell your cat that the world is ordered and safe, and that you are a reliable, central part of that world. When routines get disrupted, travel, schedule changes, a new person in the home, you'll often see cats act out in subtle ways. Not out of spite, but because their predictive model of the world has been disturbed. Understanding this helps you be more patient when it happens, and more intentional about maintaining the small rituals that make your cat feel grounded. 5. Grooming them gently. Grooming, the act of one animal grooming another, is one of the primary ways cats express affection and social bonding in the wild. Cats groom the animals they trust. They groom the animals they love. When your cat licks your hand or your hair, they're doing this to you. And when you brush or gently stroke your cat, you are, in their language, doing it back. Physical touch through grooming activates the same neurochemical responses in cats that it does in humans. It releases oxytocin, lowers cortisol, and creates a physiological sense of closeness and safety. Regular gentle brushing isn't just about coat maintenance. It's a ritual of connection. Pay attention to where your cat most enjoys being touched. For most cats, the base of the skull, behind the ears, and under the chin are deeply pleasurable spots. These are places they can't easily reach themselves. And they're areas where cats groom each other in the wild. When you focus your attention there, you're speaking their language precisely. Watch their response. A slow closing of the eyes, a soft lean into your hand, a low rumbling purr, these are your cat telling you without words that this is exactly what they needed. 6. Playing with them regularly. Play is not just entertainment for cats. It is a fundamental biological need, especially for indoor cats who don't have access to the hunting challenges that their instincts are built around. And when you're the one who initiates and participates in play, you become something very specific in your cat's mind. You become a safe and exciting source of aliveness. Cats who play regularly with their owners tend to be calmer, less destructive, and more socially engaged. They're also less likely to develop anxiety-related behaviors. Play is, in a real sense, mental and emotional medicine for cats, and you are the one administering it. What matters isn't expensive toys or elaborate setups. What matters is presence and engagement. A simple wand toy, moved in unpredictable patterns that mimic prey behavior, is enough to trigger a full hunting sequence. Stalk, chase, pounce, catch. Letting your cat complete that sequence, including the kill at the end, gives them a sense of accomplishment that directly affects their mood. Even 10 to 15 minutes of intentional play each day creates a measurable shift in your cat's emotional baseline. And more than that, it creates a shared experience between you and your cat that strengthens your bond in ways that passive coexistence simply cannot. 7. Letting them sleep near you. If your cat chooses to sleep near you, in the same room, at the foot of your bed, curled against your legs, that is not a casual choice. It is one of the clearest expressions of trust a cat can offer. Sleep is the moment of maximum vulnerability for any animal. A sleeping animal cannot detect threats, cannot run, cannot defend itself. The fact that your cat chooses to be unconscious in your presence means they have made a deep, instinctive assessment that you are safe. Not just tolerable, safe. Many owners feel conflicted about allowing cats in the bedroom, especially with concerns about sleep disruption. That's a reasonable and personal decision. But if your cat is already seeking that proximity and you're allowing it, understand what it means. Your cat isn't taking up space. They're placing themselves, deliberately, in the presence of the being they trust most. And if your cat specifically sleeps touching you, a paw against your leg, their body pressed to your back, that physical contact is communicating warmth and connection in the most direct way they know how. 8. Simply being present. This last one is the simplest, and in some ways the most important. You don't have to be actively doing anything with your cat for your presence to matter to them. Cats are highly aware of the emotional atmosphere of their environment, and your calm, quiet presence in a shared space is itself a form of communication. It says, "Everything is fine, I'm here. You're safe." Research into feline attachment has consistently shown that cats display measurable signs of distress when separated from their primary human, and measurable signs of comfort when reunited. The bond is real, even when it's invisible. Even when your cat is sitting across the room ignoring you, even when they haven't looked at you in an hour, your cat knows you're there. They registered your presence the moment you walked in, They've been monitoring you quietly ever since. And the fact that you're calm, that you're predictable, that you keep showing up, that is the foundation of everything your cat feels for you. You don't need to do more. You just need to understand what you're already doing. Cats don't love loudly. They don't make grand gestures. They love in the quiet accumulation of small moments. A slow blink, a familiar voice, a hand that knows exactly where to scratch. And if you've been doing even a few of the things on this list, your cat already knows something that maybe you didn't, that they are loved and that you are theirs. If this helped you see your cat a little differently, hit like and subscribe.